All right. Should be live here. You set the title, or the category rather. Okay. Good. I think I got it right. Software and game development. Perfect. Okay, let me flip the screen over. The plan today, we need to finish figuring out the structure of this thing, which I think it's just going to end up being like no structure. That's usually the right answer. I want to get it working end to end, and then we can start cleaning up the individual files. So, why do I have this mic so close to my face? There. So the first question, I suppose, here, how chunky do we want the pufferlib file? What if we say, if this file were to leave, and this file, we just have 1, 2, let's say 3, 4, 6, like 7 or 8 files. Hey, Liberty. So it would basically be config into pufferlib. This goes to algo or whatever. Merge this with models. Oh, models went in here as well, didn't it? Okay, I can see this working. I can see this working. I'm trying to see if we can drain this into this. Okay, it needs the load files. Welcome. Let's do this way. What's up today? The big refactor. Like, we have all of Puffer into C and CUDA. It's very messy. I've hand edited some of it. Some of it is still just crap. Why we have this here. Um, it really is mucking through sewage. But I'd like today to get the file structure correct. I want the files to basically be the code that should be in each file is in the appropriate file, and we'll be ready to start just cutting stuff without having to move more stuff. Self-play, it works. We're using it professionally. Self-play was the reason for all of this, though. Like, the reason this had to be done, well, this was always going to happen eventually, but it was likely going to happen after Puffer 5. But self-play just added, like, plus 1.5k lines of Python, and, it essentially just doubled the amount of Python that we had to deal with, and it's just too much. Like, screw it. I'm not dealing with that much bullshit Python. It's just all going into nice CUDA C, and we're gonna stop having dumb issues because of having two languages that don't play nicely together. The produce question. Wait, what? What question? Status I answered already. I mean, it works. We have the Robo Self-Play branch. We're currently doing client work based off of the contents of that branch. And then what I'm working on now is just a refactor starting from that branch, pulling everything into C and CUDA. Oh yeah, does Twitch still not let you rewind? Mm. It's still gonna have to be on me to cut the size of the back end, right? I guess we could do algo infra. This stays separate. We're getting to something that I don't hate though, which is this is progress. I do think we are gonna have the question of whether we want to keep algo separate. So Jess, the league thing is just for doing sweeps, and uh, since you have the Maya evals, I would definitely just keep the Maya evals. I'd actually be curious to see if you've had any sort of weird inconsistencies or things that feel off with the chess stuff, because you have way better evals for chess than we could possibly have for other areas. Okay, we were at 13024. We'll see what it ends up being after. This file will get very big. Sweep got reworked in order to better support self-play. So, like, a lot of self-play ends, you don't have access to very good, consistent evals. Even in robocode, where you have a bunch of scripted bots, it's kind of just tough because everything's very non-transitive. So, we have now the thing that computes ELO against all the other policies in this sweep. That's the main thing. And that lets you find more robust policies over time. It's not that opponent diversity isn't an issue. It is a major issue. It's that none of the common off-the-shelf things that are supposed to help with that actually work. So we kind of kick it a layer down to you have to probably just train against a bunch of different opponents. You need to like randomize some reward functions depending on how much diversity comes just naturally from your task itself. There wasn't anything that we saw with like exploiter agents or historical or anything that just fixed that for you, I will say. Mhm. It's an open research problem, and I've lost a lot of faith in the approaches that were used for this back in the day. I think that they basically just did a bunch of eng on their specific problem, and then they presented their methods as though they were much more general. Dashboard kernels and vecn were the last major questions. So I guess then the main thing is probably everything just goes into pufferlib, and then this becomes 7 to 8,000 lines. So I guess the core question here, right? I could take the model, muon, the loss function, numeric kernels. I could take all that stuff out, and I could put it into an algo.cu. So we would get like 2 files instead of one giant one. I don't want to split it any more than that. So we'll see how this works. And we'll see if it's a clean split or not. If it's an obviously clean split, then we'll do it that way, and if it's not, then we'll just make big chunky file. Oh yeah, this is a good call. Mm-hmm. Most of AI is just, it's really not. I guess a lot of the big lab stuff is, but most of AI is just fucking hard engineering combined with having some research and algo fundamentals. How's things been going? Puffer's doing amazingly well, I'd say, on our research and infra side. It's just a huge amount of work. It really is a huge amount of work. I've had a few just really rough weeks here and there with I really do not enjoy this stupid type shit into codex loop. I actually what I'm doing here I don't mind as much because I know it's not actively screwing my code. Right? This is literally just glorified copying and pasting from one file into another right now for code that's already there. That's fine. But whenever I have to do any actual like code stuff with codex, it's so bad. Um it's unfortunately slightly more productive to do it this way because of how this refactor is going. But I'm really, really looking forward to getting the code into a spot where it's just easily manually editable. If this works, Vecend will also end up going into Pufferl. Pufferlib gets renamed. This will be pufferl.cu. Ooh, okay, that actually works. Look at that. That's a nice split. Oops. Let's just see if this is actually looks like our research stuff. Okay, there's some kernels that need to be moved, it looks like. Yeah, this is... Split's not perfect. That's pretty good, though. I'm just, like, looking through, seeing if this stuff is, like, what I expected to be in this file. So that's good. That's the whole model. I don't think it has the graphing in here, which is good. Muon Optimizer. Okay. Some of the buffer stuff might move, but this is a pretty good split to start with. Bcache is new. What was moved there? Ignore that. So this is just for an experiment I'm doing on literally rendering the pufferfish model. This is probably going to get moved into like a single file includable somewhere that you can use to be able to have access to the pufferfish. So you can completely ignore this. So the only things that matter, we have algo, all the algorithmic bits. We've got Constellation as a standalone. This is getting drained. This is the standalone CPU demo. This is our ini loader. This is getting dealt with. This is probably going to stay separate. This is like separate models. All of protein. This will be the env API that you can include. You get like an includable env API now. Just a tiny little .h file. All of the infrastructure. This is your standalone CPU neural net file. Might stick this into eval, not sure yet. And then this gets drained. And you get, like, was it 5K lines of infra? Uh-oh. Framework laptop sold out. I was considering getting one of those. Actually, does anybody have recommendations on just, like, not gigantic, but reasonable GPU laptops? It is really the case that, like, laptops just suck these days. 5090. No, it doesn't need a 50. It just needs an NVIDIA GPU in it that will run CUDA. It doesn't have to be a high-end thing. It doesn't need to train fast or something. You really want to have a device that can at least run CUDA. Yeah. No. You missed the mark. MSI. Probably don't need a gaming GPU. You do, though. Because that's the NVIDIA series, right? See, I've always just bought Razer laptops, and the thing is, they're very nice, but they always have something wrong with them. Whether it's the battery blowing up or my most recent one that I have is like the trackpad just doesn't work half the time. It's kind of great. I don't know. Maybe the entire laptop form factor is just a joke. And we had it right the first time back when everyone worked on desktops. My laptop has a 5080 rack. Yeah. Well, you need some sort of spot to work and have a keyboard and monitor plugged into something. And that something needs to have a local GPU at the very least. I find for my work normally, to be fair, um having a desktop with a local 5090 is just awesome. It's really nice. Second best thing is having one you can SSH into. You'll end up with a few annoyances with that, but it's not that bad. Oh yeah, I've heard the Dell XPS ones are alright. See if I can click that link. This looks pretty similar to mine. The keyboard looks bad. Is that bruh. Like that's like a $2,000 laptop with no graphics card. Like that's a fucking joke. Like, alright, $2,000 for a paperweight. Cool. There's a GPU config. Do I even want to know what it is if it's $2,000 for a paperweight? See. Doesn't look to be, man. Intel Arc. That's a joke. That's pounds, it's more 2 to 1. So $3,000 for a paperweight? I mean, at some point, the people, they're just taking a piss, right? Wait, did it dupe? We'll just say do that for now. And then we'll see. 0.3. Just laptop, totally not a scam.com. I mean, I'll show you my current one. Hang on. Like, if Razer would literally, all they have to do is just fix their awful, awful QC, and they'd be good. Like, look at this. This is a 15-inch, 16-inch laptop. Keyboard is not terrible on it. Whoops. There. It thinks it's my face. You can see it well enough, right? Yeah. Got a 5080 in it. That's more than enough, right? You can train like 15 mil FPS on it if you want. It runs crazy hot if you use the dedicated graphics. But I mean, it's kind of what you'd expect. It's heavy, but it's not gigantic or bulky or whatever. But I don't recommend them because most of the units, the trackpads don't work. And I don't mean like I used it for 6 months and the trackpad didn't work. I mean, I left it in the box for a couple months, opened it and was like, great. XPS got shafted in the last 2 years. Yeah. Looks like it. Also, I don't understand people's obsession with the Mac style keyboards with the keys that have like 0 travel depth to them at all. Those are just awful. Like, you don't need to have the thinnest possible laptop. You really just don't. You also don't need the lightest possible laptop, like go lift a weight or two. Not that bad to carry 4 or 5 pounds. It's really not. The keyboards I get are like okay as well. I don't know if I'll just keep getting these long term because there's definitely better stuff you can get from these. Like all the Razer accessories are generally just like decent, like okay. Except for the mice. The mice are really, really good. Okay, so with this, Algo is here. This is gone. This stays. And I think we're down to exactly what I want, right? Yeah, look at that. Algo's here. What do y'all think of this structure? Obviously, but we're gonna go, like, fix up individual stuff, but what do you think of this? Oh, one thing. Pufferell. Is there a reasonable way to make this includable? What was in algo.cu? So this basically, you read this file to understand all the details of what makes our actual, like, research side contributions worthwhile. So this has the Muon implementation, so that's our optimizer. This has our model architecture and our model, like, structure and everything. This has all of our numerics in it. This has our advantage function. This has our loss function, I guess. Though I suppose some of the loss function could go back into Pufferl. I think I would generally prefer we take like 500-ish lines out of algo and put it back into pufferlib. So we have 5k info, 1.5k algo. That's a lot less intimidating. One, two, three. Yeah, it'll be sub 10 files. Heck is this? Hang on, let me. Cleaning one thing up on the side here. Yeah, I don't know why they make them this shape. They just make the profile of it really shitty. Yeah, something like that is reasonable. Did they cheap the SSD? 1 tera, that's fine. Yeah, something like that is pretty reasonable. The thing is, you never know how these things play with Linux. Okay. Is there still a market for that? Like, kind of tired, isn't it? That's funny. Building a very fast game engine. Well, it's not really an engine per se. Um, we do have our own stack for everything, but when you go to build a new game, you really don't have anywhere near the constraints of a full engine. Um, what you do have is just like a bunch of lightweight tools that don't put a huge amount of onus on how you dev stuff. You write simple, low level, fast code, and it works well. And our paid work is mostly like directly building simulators, not engine, for specific problems. So instead of having to have the company be able to figure out how to get a team of their own engineers to like build a sim for their use case, they can actually just hire us to build the sim and even do a good amount of the RL for them directly. And we've been quite successful on that across a bunch of different problems. The idea is pretty much look, all our stuff's open source. You can go and use it directly for your problems, but if you like what you see and you're impressed by the engineering and you think it would be very difficult to do that in house, you can hire us to do it for you for your application. Okay. Um, this is cool, right? So you ignore this file. This is just like whatever. I did mistype it. This is not codex. Then we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 files. Seems nice. No, we don't bill by the hour. We bill by the job. We typically split work into milestones. And then the milestone price goes up each update as we're able to do like more and more. We're able to tackle much more valuable problems, harder problems, with our current version of Puffer. So like basically fixed amount of work for us per milestone, and price per milestone goes up as Puffer gets better. The eventual goal is pretty much that we just like, we eventually just consider taking on pretty big client projects. And aside from that, most of our focus will go into like in-house applications. Yeah, that happens. Okay, so this is basically we're gonna probably move some code from here into here, but I think this is roughly the split. What do we think of this, folks? This is about the amount of code that I started with, but instead of having 19 files, we now have 8. 8 files. Standalone ini loader. This is where we put all sorts of custom encoder crap. Constellations are dashboard. Algo's the standalone. Protein for sweeps. Here's our env API. Here's our core infrastructure. And puffernet, we'll rename this or whatever. This is, we'll rename this. This is our CPU. I share this with Spencer. Yeah, I think that this is roughly the right thing. Maybe we rename a couple of these real quick. We'll rename a couple of these probably when I think of it, but I think that this is nice. I'll be right back. Use the restroom real quick, and then we're going to start on the actual refactors for the ends. Right. I think about it. I think that the loss probably does stay in the algo, but let's just have it do its first quick pass before I start on edits. It's kind of cool to think that this is it, though, right? This is all of Puffer, like literally. That feels a lot better to me. Like, imagine that we get this down by maybe 1,000 or 2,000 lines. We make sure everything lives in the right place, everything is clean. That would feel like, you know, solid in my mind. No, I love Constellation so much. Constellation is so nice. I do think we're gonna rewrite bits of it though. I think that we might end up doing there's some stuff that it needs for sure. I want to do that when I'm like in a clear frame of mind and I'm not going to be lazy and just do codex bullshit with it, because that's like a nice project to do by hand. And then precision. Constellation? It's just gonna be improved over time, right? Hey, Jess. Um, this is what you've missed. Take a look. Bufferel rename. Oh, that's been a thing for a while. I don't know why the file wasn't named that way. Bufferel. Okay, so we're gonna see what happens as a result of this. Still a little bit of moving stuff back and forth between files to do, but I think this is the right split now, right? We have one file for the algo, one file for Constellation, a standalone config loader. This is custom encoders, all of protein, our CPU evals, env API, and our core infrastructure. That seems like a minimal split where you can't merge any of these in a reasonable way. Like, there's not really a reasonable argument for merging any of these. message expander. Nice. So this just cuts about 100 lines from algo and sticks them into protein. Or I mean into bufferl. That's good. Let's just change the build script. You can probably do the CPU binary as well. Ugh, dude. Oh, wait. Python wall time. Huh? Yeah, that's kind of nutty. That's definitely a bubble. Works. Look at this. No Python. Also, I just want to show this off. Doesn't get messed up. Oh, okay, maybe it does get messed up. Maybe it does get messed up. We'll fix that. It does get messed up a little bit. But if you scroll to the bottom, at least it doesn't write shit like in place and get screwed up that way, okay? This okay, look, at least it's easier to fix it and see. In Python, it's just like, fuck you. You don't have control over the terminal directly. So we'll fix that. We'll get to that. Um, we don't log on. Do we log on everything? I forget. I don't think we log on everything, Jess. Oh, of a sweep. Hmm. I don't know about that one, man. That might just be one of those features where you're best off being like, I've heard your suggestion. It is declined. I kind of just think of everything in terms of the weight of the code. No, is it actually worth having that? I don't think I wouldn't use that. If anything, the sweep should just have its own little interface where it just tells you, like, summary stats live so far. That would be nice. See, it's like user asks for X because they want Y. User asks for X, but actually user wants Y. Developer must be psychic, understand what user actually wants, and build thing for user. Well, it actually should be way easier to add stuff to Puffer now with this. Like, look at this. It's beautiful. 8 files. Opt-in stream notification. Subscribe and click the bell. Doesn't that do it? Uh. Oh, can I implement a captcha so the bot's making a mess of... Do you need a captcha for that? I think they already have, like, that's already implemented in the Discord, man. Like, they just bypass that shit. I mean, I think the only thing would be, like, auto mod. There's probably a pretty simple auto mod you can get for it. I don't think the IP bans do shit. I mean, if you literally just had the cheapest language model out there auditing shit like, hey, go find any of the, like, common asking, does anybody need an AI developer bullshit post by new accounts? Just simply tell me what tool you need me to add, and I'll add it and give you perms to configure it. Like, message me up with the link or whatever. Well, this feels a lot less intimidating to refactor, but it's still a whole bunch of shit to refactor, huh? I guess we just start looking at, we'll just start by looking at this file. Excuse me. Why is the soft plus backward not used? I mean, I guess arguably we probably want to have the no, we don't want to have stuff we don't use, actually. Train defined. What? What error have you just posted, Jess? Actually, there are numerics to this, aren't there? Hmm. I actually think that we keep these in here. We can probably remove these, depending... No, we can't. Um... Oh. Was a joke, I think. Like... Still 25% acceptance rate. They... Because it's basically a dice roll. There's RLC as well, which is sometimes decent. Use the model that will actively cut itself off because I use it for AI. No, thank you. No, it still does it. It just tells you that it'll do it now. They probably got some investor pressure, which is good. But I still don't care to give them money. It's bad enough having to give OpenAI money. Actually, it's less than 1%. it's not the thing is it's not like there's been made no progress because it's a hard problem. It's like there's been no progress made because it's poorly posed and it's a dumb approach. Hmm. Super Maven is generally just fine, Jess. The only feature request is disabling multi-line completions, or at least like capping it to 3 lines or something, so it doesn't try to edit the whole damn file at once. Isn't it paywalled? It's grandfather. It was always paywalled, first of all. Like, you're running inference on somebody else's machine. It's grandfathered for now. I don't know, hopefully we'll just yell at them to open source the damn model or something if they eventually kill it. Nice. I honestly suspect that that model would be pretty cheap to train by today's standards. It's probably just like a pretty lean model. You can probably train it on a single node and then just curate a very nice set of training data for it. And just train it on like, I don't know. Train it on like the Linux kernel before people started using models. Like the snapshot of Linux kernel from 3 years ago or whatever. And just use that as the whole training set. We'll definitely iterate on this mess here. Nice. This has everything it should have in it. Um, Wait, our advantage function. We should probably add a comment on this. Oh, there it is. Contributed to Puffer. Yes, you absolutely can do that. You've made a major contribution. Of course, it needs more testing and stuff, but we're integrating it, and it appears to be a nice, very nice contribution. If you want my personal endorsement, that's going to have to wait until I've actually gone through stuff and we see that this all works, you know. You can absolutely write yourself in as a contributor, and if I haven't already, you can PR yourself to the contributor list on you just open a PR on the not the pufferlib repo, but the puffer.ai repo. And believe it or not, the algo file is basically done for now. And if you're gonna say, well, Joseph, you just like that's all AI slop. No, it isn't. The AI just pasted together chunks of Puffer 4 that were already very carefully manually tuned. Um, I looked through it. There's not like any substantial bit whatsoever of AI code. That's all just from Puffer 4. So we basically just used this to iteratively cut and paste our stuff together until we got here. There are sections that are shitty AI ports, um, but the algo file is clean. Of course, it doesn't work, which is a big issue. I probably just deleted something I shouldn't have. Whoops. Lol. I trolled. Figures. Here we are. Make sure this trains. We'll commit this. Algo file being clean already is nice. They'll add lines or comments. Let me use the restroom real quick, grab a drink. Give me like a second first. Maybe like 60 seconds. One thing on the side here. Oh, actually, that'll take me longer. So it's fine. I'll be right back. That's honestly super nice to basically know that we have a clean 2,000 lines of code that's split off that is at least at the quality of 4.0. You know? That's pretty nice to know. So, good progress. Hang on. I think what we do next. Probably before we majorly refactor everything, we should get the end-to-end test working at least. Probably productive. Cool. We're good. Oh, we actually ended up with shorter code. Nice. So I think this is probably time to pull it onto the larger box and try a self-play. Probably the play. That is supposed to work. That doesn't work, there's something wrong. The hell? Upper max 1 is connected. Huh? This app just not start or something? Digletsy. Thanks for the PR. Connected. Is it Puffer? Am I stupid? No, it's not, right? Okay, this one works. There it is. Maybe it did just have to start. There we go. Hmm. Kinda don't want to mess with this. Sometimes it just falls off, GPU falls off to Docker for some reason. I've tried several times to fix this, but it doesn't seem like there's anything you can do in the container itself, so even if I fix it for one of my machines, users will still have it, so I figure it's better to just leave it. Curriculum run. We have not messed with the, like... We haven't messed with the env details of NeuralMMO 3 since launch. Random doubt from an undergrad student. Okay, since it's from an undergrad student, I will give you a serious answer to this. So, if you want to follow the traditional job path through traditional interviews, unfortunately, very important. Companies have absolutely no idea how to hire people. So even though those two things have essentially zero overlap with programming skill whatsoever, companies still use them. If you're trying to like get good at research or learn low level or like build actual things, not at all important. I would probably fail most easy problems on those for reference. And I build some pretty crazy things. $20 mil SPS train. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. Well, this is nice that this runs. I guess we can just let this run and then pull it local. We'll have to check sweeps, we'll have to check lots of things still work, right? This is nice. Well, we should probably just do quick sweep on here as well, right? I mean, I can just audit in the meantime, I suppose. Let's do it like this. Protein's gonna be its own thing. This is whatever. So the innie, the top of constellation, maybe. This is fine. It's mostly all, like, the vast majority of the complexity, I'd say 80% of what needs to be reviewed. Maybe 70 because of the innie is just this pufferl file. So, let's see how bad it is. Timing in it. That go here and I'll go. I guess it's fine. It's a bunch of crap, but I mean, it's kind of the same stuff I'm used to all. Like, this is just code from 4.0. I would think config section should go to the top. Okay, some of this config stuff we know needs to be cleaned up. There's some shitty AI code in here. Okay, this is backend. Again, all this is normal code. Like, we remember this is all our code. It's just the glue between that it's screwed with. I'll leave this alone for now. Okay, this is something. Interesting. Should this be in? I think this goes in. Brain Impel. Mm. And the rest of this is fine. Oh, we're still in self-play. But I think... Well, I guess we'll see where this is. Here, we'll do like this. Okay, this is nice. How's this formatted? It's like this, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little annoying, but... I'll let it finish and then we'll eval this. Good. It's good progress. Through algo. It has to be visible through algo before ocean is included. Huh? Okay. Great. $100 mil run rate? What the fuck? That's obscene. I mean, like, okay, sure, you can massively, like, try shit. Hmm. Env headers still use... Okay, so it's just being stupid is the thing. Yeah, it's just being stupid. That's fine, we can fix this. If we can at least get the file laid out reasonably with, like, include sane, so that it's basically just function level jank, with some of the shitty ported code, that would be a good accomplishment today. Okay, and this is like in progress editing, so I can't run this yet. Um Oops. Okay, they're still stiff to fix here. Got 3 hours as well to keep. Yeah, we should be able to like crank a decent build today. Like, obviously, there's still chunks of the harness. Or not the harness. That's the wrong word. It's like the launcher and the multi GPU and like the random self play Python crap, as well as like config crap. Some of these are still just AI ports, that are not up to the quality standard. But if we can at least get the layout to be sane today, where most of the code cleanup will just come from tightening various chunks of it rather than having to move stuff around more, I think that that would be nice. The big code savings are probably like it's gonna probably be a few hundred lines off of protein and like the self play plus config system and stuff like that. Huh? Is it because of the dictionary thing? Oh, because it's in config, I guess. log star log as well. So we have what env. No, log is fine. Hey Jess. Is that Jess? Testing one. Yeah, that is Jess. Hey. Welcome. Welcome back. Good. So we move the dict stuff over to the Puffer API. You just have a minimal dict thing. That's fine. All right, we'll see what stupid shit it does next, but this is good. Don't particularly crude about it. This is a casual stream. I do not hold myself to professional standards of conduct on stream. This is like random Discord call etiquette. I think that's the problem with a lot of people that think that streaming is exhausting. It's like, well, yeah, if you're gonna try to be talking through stuff and holding yourself to some reasonable professional standard all day, sure. You can also just not doing that. Oh, dicked. Eh. Um, it's not actually So it's not really a full dictionary is the thing. It doesn't use hashing. It's just like an O of N everything, you know? It's just a key lookup. It works like a dictionary, but it's super slow. As the thing is, like any of these things are going to be super slow because hashing is also annoying. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Stop making new files. Oh shit. Having a separate dictionary like dict file seems so crap to me. Hmm. obnoxious. Okay, that's the macro gone at least. Slightly gross. I mean, I could just edit them and be like, hey, does this work? I should probably do that quicker. And then act sizes as well. Yeah, that's fine. I think if we get the order of this right, then it'll just be reasonable. Init. This is bullshit. Man. Agent needs obs T. Let's do like this, right? Okay, so I broke it. I'm sure that I just did like wrong order. Huh? Puffin it. But why did it have it? It had it declared twice. Stupid, man. Eh? It can't possibly be that dumb, can it? It's actually that dumb. That's impressive. Jesus. I think I'm revising my opinion to like it's not even like a particularly dumb undergrad, it's a particularly dumb underdeveloped high school student half the time. Exactly. You just have to forward declare the env. Like so incredibly dumb. Where's the entity encoder? Encoder is that set up somewhere in a branch? Um it was in the test file that I sent for that, right? Yeah, okay, Twitter. This. Point linear max. And then this builds against, there's some CUDA file in here. Here it is. This one, Spencer. I didn't port it into the CUDA yet, because this basically has to go into Ocean as a custom encoder. But this is what it would be. I'm making progress, by the way. 1,300 lines, 8 files. Getting to be pretty clean. Algo is clean already. Like, Algo is as clean as 4.0. Working on NVAPI a little bit. Most of this is just the pufferfish, so we can cut this down. And this is the big one here. There's like, I think maybe a total of 1,500-ish lines of AI gen config and glue to edit. And then there's obviously protein. Not that bad, though. If you want to work on stuff for a bit, let me know. I'm happy to, like, jam on some entity encoder stuff with you. I don't like the startup time either. I think we can cut this down. Yeah, this works. Let's try to get that going. All right, give me 1 minute to make sure that this isn't totally screwed up, and I'll use the restroom and I'll hop off stream. I don't understand how it's this dumb. I really don't. Like, every so often, it's just like, is this GPT-2? Yeah, it literally just doesn't. Whatever, man. That's fine. Alright, I am gonna end stream here though because I gotta chat with Spencer. So we will continue the refactor streams tomorrow, most likely. For folks who've been watching, thank you for tuning in. There will be some more cool dev after this refactor is done soon as well. If you'd like to support my work for absolutely free, puffer.ai, sorry, the GitHub, feed the Puffer a star, it helps a lot. Discord is where all the dev happens, join this to get involved. And you can follow me on X for more RL content, including educational stuff.